To be fair, much like a black man in a dress, I think about a movie of me raising a white family would be hilarious. You're laughing just thinking about it.
I love it. You're like, baby, oats again? Come on, man. That's a classic. That's a classic.
It's already half written. Oh, man.
Nuck if you buck, bitch. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me.
The podcast that dives deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally worked to prove that we only know the name Crispus Attucks because of white people's unquenchable thirst for black death. That nigga did nothing in the Revolutionary War. He didn't contribute one bit, and for some fucking reason, they keep putting him in our history books. There's no reason for us to know the first man who died in a war. They don't do that for any other war. There's not another fucking war where you know the first dude who died, but for some reason, the nigga that dies in the Revolutionary War, they decide they gotta tell every goddamn body. If that's not a conspiracy, I don't know what is.
What about World War I?
World War I? Oh, that German chancellor motherfucker?
The Archduke Ferdinand or whatever.
Yeah, we barely know him.
I do know Crispus Attucks better than him.
You know Crispus Attucks way better. You don't even know what the Archduke looks like.
Not at all. And I've seen so many drawings. He's always drawn.
Yeah, they didn't, but they got pictures of Crispus ass on the ground, bloody. White people pointing like, yeah, he dead.
How many artists could have been there? Yeah, that's true. Damn.
They love that Crispus. And what the fuck is a Crispus? I hate that they do this to us.
That is a made up fucking name.
Come on, man. I'm Langston Kerman and I'm furious.
I'm David Bory and I'm equally upset.
We have a phenomenal guest here today who I hope is equally enraged as the two of us. He better come in hot. We don't play that shit if he's a Crispus Attucks apologizer. But he's a phenomenal comedian. He's hilarious. You know him from all kinds of work, most of which we're not allowed to promote anymore because of dual strikes that are happening. But most importantly, you know him from When It's Happening, Saturday Night Live. He's a cast member on that show. He's hilarious. Please give it up for Devon Walker. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? I didn't know if I was supposed to pop in, but also like Crispus Attucks, his high school's named after him. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Street, like,
how do you even justify that to like? Is there a naming commission? I don't know. I don't know how you name a high school.
Ain't no Archduke Ferdinand High School.
It would make more sense because, like, what? Why does he get a school?
What did Crispy do?
That makes me feel like I could get a school.
David Bory Elementary is on the way.
High school. Don't do that to me.
Okay, I thought you start small and work your way up, but no, you're like
no, we're dreaming. If we're dreaming.
I feel like I feel like you could get a building at like a performing arts academy. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think I could. I think it sounds like a school. Like, yeah, I used to play fullback at Bory. That sounds real.
Yeah, that does sound good. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Kerman is ever gonna have a nice ring to it. Yeah. And I'm a big fan. I like me, but I just don't. Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, I was hooping at Kerman, and that sounds icky.
Really? I think it fits.
I could hear it. Yeah, I can
hear it too.
Maybe I gotta do some self-reflection. Maybe there's some self-hatred inside of this that I gotta unpack.
It's like a nice sounding name.
Damn.
The high school I went to was called Pflugerville High School. Imagine.
Fuck.
Yeah,
oh, no.
Having to say that. Yeah, no.
When did he die?
He was like the guy who created the town that I grew up in. Like the town. I grew up in a town outside of Austin called Pflugerville, Texas.
Fuck. So you just had a local man high school?
I don't think that's the man founded a town. That's a big thing to do. I think that's you're playing.
This is grossing me out. I don't like it.
What did Crispus do?
Nothing, and that's my point. Just let the man be dead. Stop writing about him and telling everybody he got beat up.
Yeah, I bet his cousins and like brothers and sisters hated it.
Yeah, the Addicts family is not happy about what's happening here. Devin, you came to us with a conspiracy theory that what is this? We have Crispus Addicts updates that is he back? Oh, Crispus Addicts High School. That's right.
Only one black person.
They're barely in frame. This is rough.
17 varsity sports though.
At the bottom it says a storied legacy. Our legacy of serving African American students in Indianapolis continues today.
God damn.
So it's basically like just go here and you're gonna die.
That's my other problem with Crispus Addicts High School is that it never is in service of white children. You know what I mean? Like you never send your white child to Crispus Addicts High School because y'all know that's fucked up. Yeah. You know that's not a brand you want to attach yourself to. He was a loser. Just let him be a loser. He got shot.
Yeah, I only want people to talk about it if I go out cool.
Come on, man. He didn't do no cool neo kicks. No. He just got shot.
He probably didn't even have like a spin. The shit just started. He
didn't even know it was coming.
I bet he thought it wasn't going to happen. He was like, we're going to walk up here, but they ain't going to fight.
Them niggas ain't going to shoot me.
You know, man, it's going to be bullshit, bro. I know.
And then they saw that line of white men in blue suits and one nigga, and they were like, shoot him.
Kill him.
And he is so alone, nobody even went, oh no, Crispus. They just
didn't know his name.
Yeah, they didn't know. They were like, oh, Monkey Jim. Oh.
Now who's going to dance after supper?
Who's going to play the spoons?
I love so much this podcast is on Will Ferrell's network. That's so tough.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I don't think he listens.
Impossible.
I hope he does. I really
hope this cord a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't think he's checking in. I think he'd be a little worried about what was happening on this side of town.
Well, basically saying it in his name.
At the end of every episode, we say praise Will Ferrell.
Yeah. The views and opinions expressed by this podcast do reflect Will Ferrell.
Almost exclusively.
Yeah. What do you think we got it?
Devin, you came to us with a conspiracy theory that has zero to do with Crispus Addicts, but I will say is a conspiracy we've touched on in the podcast, but I was surprised to find out we had not fully unpacked. And so this is an exciting day where we get to do a pretty classic, I would say, conspiracy theory. You said, my mama told me
Black men have to wear a dress in order to succeed in Hollywood.
How is my man supposed to schmeat his meat with this shit, bro? What the fuck?
Yeah, feel free to jump in whenever you process whatever that was.
Yeah, it can come from any direction.
I really wasn't ready for that. I really thought you were gonna pull like a quote from Cat Williams. I really wasn't.
That would have been the traditional route.
Exactly. Yeah, no. You hit me with a spin move. That's what Crispus Attucks should have had. But
or a duck.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I was surprised. I was like, that's why I submitted a couple, because I figured y'all probably would have done this one already. But
yeah, no.
It's definitely a thing that I grew up hearing about. And it's a thing that, like, I was in Houston this weekend and I took a Uber to the airport And the guy was like, "Oh, what brought you to Houston?" I was like, "Oh, I was doing shows. I do stand up." And he was just like, "They get that dress on you yet? Don't let them do it." And,
oh no!
He said yet.
Damn.
Yeah, he said it's coming. And so like that is a thing that I've always, especially like my mom told me this when I was young, but like especially like the older I get and the further I get in comedy, they keep being like, "It's on its way. The dress coming for you, dog." You know, and they always got like a video reference. They always got like Chappelle talking about it, or like Cat, or like all these guys have like real theories on it. And it's
And when you say they, I know you said your mom is apparently one of the sources, but is this a mostly family? Is this friends? Is this broadened out to your larger Texas community? Like, where is this coming from?
This is mostly strangers. That's who tells me. It's mostly people that I've never spoken to before in my life.
Yeah.
Or after.
Yeah, exactly. And that like one time, the first TV money I ever got, I went and bought a bunch of gold teeth. That was like the first thing that I did.
Good for you, young man.
Yeah. Yeah. Really went before I figured out my health insurance, I went to go buy gold teeth. From this woman named Helen, and she's this woman who like it's this stud woman who makes gold teeth in like a warehouse, like upstairs of like a warehouse. And
wait, so she's gay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's gay and also warning you of the emasculation of the black man.
Bro, she was really concerned about it. In a way that's she's a stud, though. You're right, which is like its own kind of separate.
Yeah,
you know, it's its own kind of separate category.
I've met him.
Yeah, I think we've all known studs.
You're familiar with a few.
Strong opinion.
Yeah. I've been bullied by a few.
But yeah, she was really just going in. She was just like, you know, she was like, "Look, I see you doing good, but like, I know you probably want to get to that top level, and you know what they about to make you do. Don't let them do it."
Fuck.
And it's like, would y'all ever do it?
Just ask it.
Okay, yeah.
I
didn't know we were gonna get here this fast, but that's fair.
I was worried about this morning.
Yeah, Bori, do you want to start? Do you want to answer for yourself first?
It's so complicated.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same way.
Because it's like, you know, people got uncles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, right? Because I don't think there's anything inherently shameful about dressing up like a woman. Like, I don't think it's that bad, but I do also, part of me does worry that it would be this thing of like an idea of relinquishing some control. So do I think I would do it ultimately? I don't think so. But I don't think I would, but I'm also like, that's far outside of how my humor, I'm not like I don't even dress. Me wearing a crazy costume is also something I really wouldn't be. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, silly is not really my shtick anyways. So
Damn.
it would be pretty out of character, and like it would also be out of character for me to dress up like anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not a part of the dress up gang. You ain't doing that.
I look wild physically anyways. We don't need to build on that.
Put a t-shirt on my man. He got it. That's
like,
funny.
I gotta be able to be taken. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be taken serious. I'm a weird looking guy anyway, so it's like, no, I don't want to. I wouldn't dress up in a chicken suit either.
Yeah, I get that. I would 100% put a chicken suit on. Chicken suits sound funny to me. Dress me like chicken any day of the week. Daddy's in. I will say, I feel the same struggle inside of this, of both. There's a part of me that wants to be able to do it just out of like rejection of all the sort of homophobic roots inside of this argument.
Right.
You want to be free.
I want to be free. I don't want to sort of be beholden to a bunch of problematic perspectives inside of all of these things. I do, and my heart of hearts believe that some of the intention of it, though, is coming from a malicious place, right? That like the want to see black men in dresses is not coming from a place of gender equality and sort of sexual openness. It truly is just look at them silly niggas over there in dresses. And
Why
so
are you gay?
Yes.
You are gay.
And I don't want that to happen either. And so I'm torn, and I should admit, and I will admit that I once for a live show. How
does that make a difference?
I don't know, but it felt important. It felt important to me. That's how I'm going to frame it.
This was not pre-recorded.
This was not recorded, and there's no evidence of it, except maybe one picture. But for a live show, I dressed up as Sylvia Plath because we had to like dress up as an author and do like funny, like made up readings of their shit. So I dressed up as Sylvia Plath and had a wig and a dress and an oven in my hands.
Hilarious. I was hoping you went for it.
Yeah, like a tiny easy bake oven that I was carrying around because, you know, that's how she killed herself.
Put her head I used to have a joke about that.
About her blowing or melting her head?
Yeah. Early days.
Funny
Anyways,
stuff.
I feel like you said a bunch. I feel like you didn't answer straight up though. Would you do it today?
I think in my current today,
as a father,
my instinct is no because of so many of the associations, but my want is to get to a place where yes, I can do it without feeling trapped inside of all the bullshit around it.
I think I land kind of on that side of it, right? Because it's like I actually don't care. I personally don't really care about wearing a dress. Like I would, honestly, it is funny. Like, you know,
It's really funny.
Have you seen Joanna Man?
Yeah. Joanna Man and White Chicks came out when I was like 11 years old. And it's just like, that shit was huge. Yeah. And so it's like, I actually don't feel any opposition to it, but I just know how much I know that in the event that I were to put on a dress, somehow that would end up being a huge hit. And then and then every African Uber driver that I came across, now he's looking at me wild.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the problem. You would look funny as a lady, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
I know. I'd be a big ass lady. I'd be a huge lady.
Yeah, you're so tall. That's very funny.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a 6'3" lady, and then I'm doing lady stuff. I'm wearing a skirt. That's,
you know, like a linebacker. That's funny. That's just,
there's already something there to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, but yeah, I got uncles and cousins and a brother that like, it's not even that I really care so much about what they think. It's just like, I don't want to have to keep talking to them about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's going to come up so much that I feel like it's going to fuck my life up.
I just want to keep going to the barbershop and
you know what I'm
make
saying?
things more complicated
I didn't
there.
even
exactly
think about that. Ooh,
I don't even talk at the barbershop. I kind of like, you know, I ain't one of them that be chiming in and riffing and all this shit. I keep to myself. I just let them do what they're doing. And I want to be able to stay quietly an observer inside of this toxic space. I don't need to become the subject of the haircuts.
Yeah. Because they're already looking at me funny because, like, I put out this video in the Nuggets one, and, like, I guess the sound I made was really sus.
No. What the fuck did you do?
I didn't think it was crazy. I was watching it, and then I put the video out, and I guess the way that the noise that I made, it's like, so like I can't also put a dress on.
What noise did you make in the Nuggets video? Can you please do that?
If you buy tickets to one of our live shows, I'll play it for you.
Oh man,
I still have the video.
I gotta know what sound this was.
I didn't think it was that bad. But like what, you know, because when they're telling it, like he's telling it to other people in there, and he's like, "Oh, you was like, like I moaned or something," and that's not what happened. Hold on.
Yo.
Come on, let's go.
had to happen.
Let's go.
This is longer than I remember.
Big Denver.
So, you know, I got a little carried away. But just to say, I can't also wear a dress.
That's so funny. That's so much homophobia that they were that on a celebratory day in Denver, they were like, this nigga's gay.
One of the best times in my life. I can't be excited.
You can't just let a real reaction come out of your body.
No.
You still got to be a man posturing as a man while you celebrate the happiest thing that's ever happened to you.
And I don't think it was that bad. You guys think it was that bad?
It wasn't that crazy to me.
It didn't sound crazy to me, but in context of barbershop shit, it does sound like gay. You are revving up to getting your back blown out.
Yeah. I might as well.
It's about to happen. It's about to happen.
All right, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. That's not what it sounds like. That's not what it sounds like.
You know what the fucked up thing about those kind of environments too is, like, you know, we're all like men who live in like city. Like, we don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, it's like, you guys can call me gay if you want. But then it's like, I don't think I care. But then as soon as people start saying shit like that, like if they started doing that at the barbershop, I know I would turn on the, I mean, I ain't really, I ain't.
Yeah.
I ain't, what you mean? Like, I'm fucking hoes. Like, I know I would go into that mode. And I'd be disappointed in myself because I'm better.
Yeah. No, I think we don't care because we have created these sort of liberal bubbles for ourselves. Mm-hmm. But if you've spent any real time outside of these havens of sort of like of celebration and respect and whatever, it turns into a very different energy. Like, it feels it feels crazy to try to stand up for what's right when you're put in circumstances where nobody else believes any of that shit.
Yeah, and then it makes your voice sound even higher. Like, no, actually. Like, nobody wants that.
Yeah, no, it's rough. So it sounds like, Devon, inside of this, you are not a believer necessarily in the grander conspiracy, but you are sort of wary of the implications of the conspiracy in your own life, the sort of fallout that can come from it.
That is a much more academic way of putting it than I could have, so I appreciate you saying it instead of me.
I guess the best follow-up question I have for that is, what do we do about this? Is this something that you feel like can be changed? Because niggas don't really wear dresses anymore. Like, besides like Instagram, sort of like the you know, skit motherfuckers, like niggas in dresses ain't a thing on TV the way it used to be, in part because of this constant barrage of homophobic uncles being like, don't let this happen to you. So like, do you think we can ever change that perspective?
I think no. Well, no, not really. I wanted to be like, yeah, like, you know, once these old niggas get out the way, then like, you know, the younger people will like be okay with it. But I actually, again, I was just when I was in Houston, you know, I'm from Texas. I grew up there. And like, I have a chunk where I just sort of talk about like some like loosely gay ideas. And it turned the room in such a crazy way.
You mean like voting or something?
It turned the room in such a crazy way. I was like, I forget, I'm from here, and I be forgetting about homophobia. I be forgetting about that is like much more the norm than like.
Yo, a lot of dudes, that's their whole sense of humor.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
So it's like, no.
Cameron and Mace have a sports show that is entirely dedicated to almost talking about sports, but then getting distracted by the gay things that the other person said. Like, if you've never watched Cameron's sports show, it literally is them being like, yo, he had a great game yesterday. Pause. And then the other dude being like, yo, you were being crazy, killer. You can't say the nigga had a good game. You wildin', killer.
The good game is crazy. And then they talk about like other things men have said that week. Did you see that? Like, who was it? It was like Shaq or somebody said something. It's like, I didn't know he said that, Paul. And they're like 50.
Yeah, they're 50. For sure 50. And one of them used to be a pastor, kind of. It's crazy. So to your point, I don't know that there's healing on the other side of this. Bori, do you feel differently? Do you feel like there's healing to be found somewhere?
I think it's doable. I think that...
okay.
I think it's like that's the way everything is pushing, right? Is like those are the boundaries that are getting pushed more than everything right now. I think, like across the board, you know. So I do think that there's redemption for it. I also think some people are able to get away with it. Remember when Busta Rhymes wore a dress? And that was cool. Like nobody seemed to have any. I don't know if it's because he's a giant Jamaican. I don't know how he got away with it. So I think there's like space for it. Like
I feel like the whole late 90s, Busta Rhymes was dressing like a geisha and no one said shit.
Big ass geisha.
That's true.
No one said a fucking thing.
I feel like Busta Rhymes and Andre 3000 have seemed to be immune from the rest of it. Like they seem to be shielded off. Also, it feels like it's a different thing when a comedian does it. I feel like that's the thing.
Meant to be degrading more, I think.
Yeah,
that's the thing that people really take issue with.
I think some of it is that those are genuinely weird motherfuckers versus what it feels like when a comedian does it is a little more of this was put on you. This was asked of you by a power that be. Whereas like Young Thug put on a dress because Young Thug thought he looked pretty, and who's gonna tell him otherwise?
He did look pretty.
He looked gorgeous, and I wasn't gonna tell him he didn't either way.
I also think about this with the comedian aspect. It's like that is like an old humor trope of a man dressed as a woman. Like white guys do it too a lot. I mean, in general, no one's doing it anymore, but white comedians used to do it all. Mrs. Doubtfire was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
Isn't that Tootsie on that show?
Yeah. There's a few great examples, iconic examples of white men doing it. I will say it doesn't feel quite as pervasive in the white community as it does in the black community, but maybe that's just because there are more of them and there are less of us, so it's a numbers game.
I mean,
because when you really think about the black men in a dress thing, I feel like people really point to like 4 people. You know, it's like not really.
Who are
like,
the big black dress men?
Yeah, who's the Mount Rushmore of niggas in dresses?
Now we're getting to the important shit.
I mean, we got Martin Lawrence.
Oh yeah, Big Mama's House.
We got Big Mama's House, and he was what's her name on the show.
Know what? We should go to ad break before we do this, so we can come back.
So we'll leave a little cliffhanger here for everybody that's listening. We have Martin Lawrence as number 1 on the Mount Rushmore, but when we come back, we'll be back with more Devon Walker, more My Mama Told Me, and we'll get the rest, the 3 remaining Mount Rushmore contributors. Okay, yeah. Dear listeners, it's Langston Kerman.
And it's David Bori.
And we are the hosts of a little podcast called My Mama Told Me. And more importantly, My Mama Told Me is going on tour. We are hitting a bunch of phenomenal cities, and we want you to be there.
Yes, come out and see us. August 24th, Chicago, Illinois. Illinois? I don't know how to do it. August 26th, New York. And August 27th in Pittsburgh, PA.
We're going to be telling jokes. We're going to be playing games. We are going to be spreading salacious rumors, and we're going to be accusing some of your favorite black people of being a part of the Illuminati. It's all going to be phenomenal. You got to be there. Buy your tickets now.
I actually am 1.4% Nigerian African. I'm a sister, okay?
We are back with Devon Walker. And he was about to give us his Mount Rushmore of niggas in dresses.
Yeah.
Comedic or otherwise. No, just comedic, right?
Yeah. I feel like we gotta go Martin Lawrence because he was in dress. drag on Martin, and he
so many
did Big Mama's
characters.
House. Mhm.
Yeah.
So he did that. Then we gotta go Jamie Foxx.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm.
Wanda was funny.
Wanda was very funny.
I would argue it's always funny. That's I think the problem
It
we
is.
run into.
I think that you're right. It's a pretty funny bit.
I think a bunch of white executives at a table also would make that argument.
But Jim Carrey also did it on that show.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey ain't did it since. And I think that that's sort of the point, right?
Oh, okay.
Jim Carrey was then allowed to go, do a bunch of other things that did not involve the dress, whereas black men are sometimes positioned in a way where they have to keep themselves in the dress for the rest of their lives.
What is that how you feel about Martin?
Yeah, wait, what are you talking about?
I don't agree with that.
I'm not saying it's my argument. I'm saying that is the grander argument, is that you become beholden to sort of like the wants of white expectations, and sometimes it's putting on a dress again, sometimes it's doing a fucked up movie, sometimes it's just a movie where you gotta date a white lady and you raise a white family, but you black and you don't never acknowledge it. Like, I think that's what the conspiracy theory is doing, is to stay rich. You keep doing the white man's bidding, and the best way of showing you're willing to do his bidding is to put on a dress.
Yeah. Shit like that always makes me think of that. I always think about the movie The Blind Side. I think about that movie constantly.
Yeah, sure.
Because like, if you ever, like, the guy who they based it off of, like, in the movie, they make him look like he could barely talk. They make him look like he
yeah, he was for sure just like a behemoth idiot.
Yeah, they make him look like he couldn't talk or read or write or anything. And that this family like taught him, like, they made it seem like he grew up in like a hut on the side of the streets, and they like taught him how to like use a fork. Like, that's how they were. They're
like, Michael, you got to button the shirt. You can't just put it on.
And I feel like the inverse of that, just a black family adopting a stupid ass white kid would be so funny.
Yeah,
and then just
teaching him everything.
I take him to the beach, but I don't have any suntan lotion. That's 10 minutes, 15 minute scene right there.
Yeah, that's a lesson for both of us.
Yeah, you want what? And then I take him back to his mom. I'm like, why is he all red?
I don't know. The voice thing. That's how they get. So okay, we have Martin Lawrence. We have Jamie Foxx.
Yep. We gotta go Wayans Brothers.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Are they holding a single spot? So they are.
Yeah. They're Sean and Marlon are a duo. Yeah, they're a package deal. Sure. And then the guy who did Joanna Man doesn't feel like the right. That's not
Miguel Nunez. He's done it in other movies though.
Yeah, he's done it quite a bit.
Yeah,
it kind of breaks the theory, because like, he didn't become like a big star. He didn't become
didn't. No.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so like,
he had some swings.
I mean, I knew his name off the rip.
Yeah, that's true. But we didn't all know it.
I remembered it once you said it. Once you said it, I was like, yeah, that was his name. That's tight.
Because he wasn't in drag in that movie Life, but he was very feminine in Life.
Yeah, he was queer in Life, and part of the reason he wasn't in drag was, and I think he does actually dress up in drag.
When they do the club, the nightclub scene.
Yeah, they have that day where they get to like invite guests and sort of have like a sexy time. And in the nightclub, you're right. Yeah. When they're dreaming about the Coco, what was it, the Coco room or something like
Ray's
that?
Boom Boom Room.
Ray's Boom Boom Room. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he does wear drag in Life, I think, multiple times.
I don't know. Is there any big one I'm missing? I feel like those are the big 90s ones.
I think Eddie Murphy feels like a glaring miss if we're not listing Eddie Murphy as
when was he in drag?
The Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor is almost exclusively.
And he was amazing.
Norbit, he also does quite a bit of drag.
Not as amazing. My God.
And I think he's SNL. He did a few characters where, if I'm not mistaken, where he did drag. He's done it a lot. He ain't missed no turns in it.
and he was a giant star. So it's like
the biggest.
I'd say the best to
star.
ever do it.
Huh?
In a dress?
Yeah.
I put him above those other ones.
He's a top dress wearer?
Yeah.
Does, and we'll get into the research in a second, but does fat suit negate the dress?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
I kind of think it does.
Well, but like when Tyler Perry dresses as Medea.
Oh my God. How do we miss that? How do we miss him?
Because the nigga ain't funny to me, but I think that's why I didn't listen.
And I ain't playing, nigga.
He ain't made me laugh once.
I go softer on Tyler Perry. He's got me a couple times.
Look, they used to make us watch those plays after church. So like
basically like church again.
Yeah, exactly. So like I have fond memories as a kid of watching the plays specifically.
Thank you. I was trying to tell Langston that, and they weren't that bad.
Nah, they're you guys are mistaken. And we just rewatched Diary of a Mad Black Woman for the podcast, and
it was pretty
neither
bad.
One of us enjoyed that experience. So
I'm
not wrong.
I feel like you would appreciate Tyler Perry just because he's a champion of a light-skinned man. You know what I'm saying? Do you see the positions
this is controversial.
He puts y'all as the knights in shining armor in most of his films. It's a dark-skinned nigga acting wrong, and then a beautiful light-skinned nigga. Michael Ealy might have been one of that. Could be you, bro. You better look.
Devon,
hey, Mr. Perry, if you listening, hey, Langston don't mean that. Langston don't mean what he's saying. He don't mean what he's saying at all.
Devon, let me be clear. The fact that Tyler Perry is listing facts in his films sometimes does not change my issues with the quality of the films he's making. Are light-skinned people the heroes in the story? Absolutely we are. Absolutely we are. Objectively, that is true. But does that make Tyler Perry a good filmmaker? It does not. It just means that sometimes the man is right.
Oh, man.
Dear listeners, it's Langston Kerman.
And it's David Borey.
And we are the hosts of a little podcast called My Mama Told Me. And more importantly, My Mama Told Me is going on tour. We are hitting a bunch of phenomenal cities, and we want you to be there.
Yes, come out and see us. August 24th, Chicago, Illinois. Illinois? I don't know how to do it. August 26th, New York. And August 27th in Pittsburgh, PA.
We're going to be telling jokes. We're going to be playing games. We are going to be spreading salacious rumors, and we're going to be accusing some of your favorite Black people of being a part of the Illuminati. It's all going to be phenomenal. You got to be there. Buy your tickets now. I did a little bit of research on your conspiracy that I'd love to unpack with you. The most articulate, and I would say most iconic breakdown of this conspiracy theory comes from that 2006 interview that Dave Chappelle does on Oprah, where he explains his refusal to wear a dress on set of Blue Streak. That basically...
They didn't need it.
Yeah.
That bank robbery
It's
movie?
weird. That's what, and that's part of his argument inside of this thing is that, like, he showed up one day on set. He'd been doing very well on the film, having a good time. And then there's a dress in his dressing room, and he goes, "Hey, what's this for?" And they go, "Oh, Dave, we have this really funny scene we just added. We think it'd be hilarious if when Martin's breaking out of the jail, he disguises it, or he hides behind you, who is dressed as a prostitute, is in using his words, sex worker, and basically says, like, this is the bit, so put on the dress, we're going to shoot that." And Dave goes, "No, I'm not comfortable with that." And then producers get called in, then the director gets called in. Dave's being told he's difficult and unwilling to play ball for a very funny scene, and ultimately he refuses, and then they immediately change the script back to a scene where he doesn't have to wear a dress, and it all is resolved in 10 minutes. And so his argument is, like, if it only took 10 minutes, then y'all already knew a different option for this. You just wanted to degrade me and lessen me as a black man.
Do you think it's a black man thing or just like a not great sense of humor thing within that specific? Because we've all been in a position to get like network type notes where you're like, but this is stupid.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying? Like this is a weird side to be on of this. I guess I'm on their side.
Yeah, you've always been on the producer side and the strike. And...
Whoa. Hey, don't do that. No. And also, you know.
How did all of this trouble begin?
Living in America.
Yeah. No, I do think there is a case for that there. The idea that like, they're just like not funny.
And that is part of what Dave says in the interview is that he goes like the guy goes, this is a funny bit. So many great comedians have done a bit like this. And he's like, well, if they've done it, then it's hack and we can write something better. And they go, you difficult motherfucker. So it's hard to know. And I do err closer to the side of being like, this is probably just hacky and just sort of lazy writing.
That's
more
right.
than it is like intentionally trying to take down Dave Chappelle. Or take power from Dave Chappelle. That said, I don't think, if I'm being honest, that I go, oh, they would have done that same thing to whoever the white counterpart to Dave Chappelle is on a film by surprising him with a dress scene out of nowhere.
Right. Like they never put Michael Rappaport in the dress.
Yes. and that'd be funny, probably, but they're not even going to try.
Yeah. I like that idea. That's fun.
They got Chris Rock.
Yeah. They got Chris Rock. And in fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I made a list of who I know so far based off of various versions of internet sleuthing to have participated in wearing dresses. And it's worth noting that some of this came from a TikTok that I found that breaks down all of this conspiracy theory. And that TikTok page also includes videos called things like transgenders versus real women. And my personal favorite, Black China sold his soul to the devil. So I think it's a pretty progressive bunch that's managing this account, but the list is it's fucking crazy. There's Richard Pryor, Flip Wilson, Wesley Snipes, Ving Rhames, Chris Tucker, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Miguel A. Nunez, Tyler Perry, Arsenio Hall, all of the Wayans brothers, Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, Nick Cannon, Jamie Foxx, Brandon T. Jackson, Terry Crews, Kid Cudi, Young Thug, a slew of other musicians. The list sort of goes on from there, but it is an impressive list of
pretty much just
folks.
Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
It's like the only one.
God, that would have been funny. God damn.
He would be hilarious in a dress, objectively.
They'd be so funny in a dress.
A Halloween episode of The Office from 2007 where the guys from the warehouse all wear dresses. It's right there. It's already so funny. God damn. Rest in peace, Patrice, man. But you would have rocked the shit out of that. That might have got him the Emmy for real.
Yeah, they would have made him series regular if he put that dress on.
But I look that list. You can't all black men wearing a dress are not created equal. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like yours, like Chris Rock wearing a dress on The Fresh Prince is very different than Young Thug or like Kid Cudi wearing a dress. I will say I'm a big Kid Cudi fan. Did y'all see when he wore the dress?
Yeah, he looked like shit to me.
Yeah, it was weird. I disagreed with it on a like you're somehow making this thing not cool. Like I get you think it's so cool that you're doing it that it kind of makes me not like it. That's the one that I minded the most, weirdly.
It bugged me. It felt
are you
way
talking about
too
the
much.
SNL one?
Yeah. He wanted to wear a dress to prove a point, whatever, but he just didn't look good.
No, I don't think he chose. I don't think he chose the right dress for his body.
No, he looked bad, and it was like that weird homage to Kurt Cobain, and like all of it was just ugh. Like you're doing too much shit at once, bro. Just sing your little sad songs. I don't need none of this.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem I've actually had with the Man in a Dress is Kid Cudi.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think musicians should even be in this conversation.
Exactly, like because that's an entirely separate thing.
I think it's just
what about like Russell Westbrook? Do you think he's involved in this conversation?
The Brody,
or do you think that's?
I also don't.
Or do you think that's a separate thing?
But he is hilarious.
He's very funny.
I will say that he is who the barbershop points to now in a contemporary sense of this same conspiracy theory, though, right? That like. At least for years now, less so now, he's sort of aged out of like the shock and awe fashion and is a little more like grounded in his fashion. But when he was in the height of his shock and awe fashion, they definitely were like, that nigga's being brainwashed by the powers that be, whatever.
It's Russell Westbrook and it's Lil Nas X. Old niggas really have a really hard time with Lil Nas X. They really can't handle him being.
Yeah. Do you think it's because it's never been as blatant as that? Like in the you know what I mean? Like the rodeo video is like that's aggressive. I don't think there has been a ton of stuff in like main culture that people have seen like that from a black man.
Of black men demonstrating like queer sort of like visibility.
I mean, they've been there, but it's never you don't see it to that level, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He's the first really big pop star that is like a gay black man.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's like expressed, you know, like I feel like it would be like things you'd hear people say, but never like the imagery, like in the video and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, Tevin Campbell.
That video was gay as hell, right?
Down.
Bro, Tevin Campbell like just came out like hard. Last year. Tevin Campbell just came out like in like 2021.
Yeah, no, he had to work through a lot of shit before he got comfortable being like, I think I like men.
And we knew it. Come on, Tevin, you weren't tricking anybody.
No, but when we found out for real, like not when he announced it, but when we found out, the industry turned on him hard. In a way that I don't think he ever fully recovered from.
Damn. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I would say that at least my understanding, and some of this is coming from my mother who ain't a fully unbiased source, but I think my understanding was that Tevin Campbell sort of like when he was a cute kid and even as like a cool, sexy adult, was singing about women. We loved him. And then it became sort of apparent that he was queer and the industry stopped fucking with him the same way that they used to.
Oh, people like he stopped working
with him. They like, yeah, exactly.
It's funny because like by that theory, the industry kind of wants you to like seem gay on camera, but not be gay in real life.
Well, that's the weird thing about it, right? I mean, that's where this all comes from, right? Is it's like, I feel like the men who are in dresses, I don't feel like what you hear is that they're gay. What you're hearing is like they're making them look gay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people thought Eddie Murphy was gay.
I think a lot of people thought Eddie Murphy was gay.
That was a bad example. And there was other stuff. There's other parts of that. But
I hear you. Martin Lawrence was never being called gay. Martin Lawrence was being said to have been emasculated for
and brainwashed.
And brainwashed. Right. Yeah. It's tough because I don't know. Some of this does feel like it's obviously propaganda. It's obviously manipulative, but I do think some of the things that end up being greenlit or celebrated or treated with a reverence, to your point, Devin, of like, yo, the next time I'm in a car, I worry that my most famous thing is going to be this one-off bit that I did is a real fear. And frankly is one that you can't just ignore simply because you feel progressive as it relates to queer rights and visibility and all of that shit.
I mean, I think, 100%. That's why we're all pretty progressive. Nobody was like, hell yeah, put a dress on me. Like, it's like, you gotta, you do have to worry about that.
I read an NPR article about the same issue, and this was, I think, more of like I guess like an opinion piece, I dare say, but the author sort of references the black men in the dress to a Carter G. Woodson book, The Miseducation of the Negro. And in the book, Woodson argues that when someone is repeatedly sent to the back door so often that they eventually don't even need to be told to go to the front door or to the back door, that they will just naturally go to the back door because that is the place that they've been assigned. And he goes on to say that they are become so conditioned inside of this that when it comes to literally the back door, if you showed up to that same back door and the back door did not exist, you would try to cut a hole into the space where the back door did exist rather than walking through the front. And he basically suggests that this is the type of brainwashing that comes from the types of people who choose the dress for themselves in comedy. That like an Eddie Murphy who made a movie where he wanted to wear the dress is sort of conditioned as a sort of like sub inside of the white hierarchy, if that makes sense.
I understand the point that's being made. I don't think I necessarily agree with that because I think a lot of this also boils down to how humor works and how people work with humor, that like vulnerability or being the other, whatever, is humorous. That's like the state of comedy. Like, I think there's a reason that it's not like just a black, like I said before, a lot of people, a lot of humor is based as men dressing up like women and vice versa. British people love that shit. They love that shit. Love it. They just think it's silly. Look, a bloke in a jumper. I don't know how they fucking talk. But the point is, like, I don't give a shit about you guys. But the point to me is that, like, I understand what they're saying, but we do need to allow some space for the idea of this shit's just funny, man. It's like
it's funny,
and it's funny to be vulnerable, and I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Like, if it was just black men, I would have a bigger issue. But it's like a tenet of humor. Dressing up like something you're not, always funny.
It's funny, and it also, I think, if we could untether this from all of the homophobia and all of these sort of like malintentioned perspectives that are connected to this that have nothing to do with, you know what I mean? Like at the root of it, a dress is not necessarily emasculation. A dress is a dress, and you can be masculine inside of a dress, but our own homophobia and years of conditioning make us see it as a version of emasculation. And that's what makes this complicated.
Right.
It's not the dress itself that makes us weaker. It is our own sense of self that makes us weaker. And a dress just is our articulation of that.
Oh,
yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Whoa.
Listen,
whoa.
That's why I'm on the buttons.
Dissertation on us. That was
you know what I mean? He does that. You know what I mean?
Hit a button.
Would you say that you're racist?
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
Look at my dog. He's as black as can be.
You know what I mean? We all have the things that we're good at on this podcast.
We all contribute here at My Mama Told Me. So it sounds like we've all sort of landed this plane. We don't think that it's necessarily a legit conspiracy theory. We're not firm believers that this is some deep Hollywood agenda to like transform the black man into an emasculated version of himself. That said, we ain't rushing to be at the front of the line when it comes to participating in the bit.
And to be fair, I think there is also space for there to be times that it is that. You know, I mean, I think that is fully possible, I think.
both the
things.
the weaponizing and the humor of it being funny and also dangerous on the other side.
Right.
I think that when we're allowed to write again, the three of us should all work on a reboot of Baps. I think we should.
Huh.
I think it should be a reboot of Baps starring all three of us, and we should bring it to Universal Pictures. Let's get that off the ground when we're allowed to.
I love
think we
this.
should do it. Yeah.
Also that white baby thing. Come on, me, Keke Palmer, white baby.
Yeah,
one of those Disney Channel freaks.
I like it.
Oh, okay. See, you changed the story a little bit because it was you with a white family, but now it's you and Keke Palmer raising a white baby.
Yeah, still pretty good. I think even it could go either way. This is a writer's room.
Good.
This is a writer's room. We're just buzzing ideas.
We're pitching. We're pitching
Palmer,
right now.
You, Keke Palmer, and Timothy Chalamet, just as a
family.
Yeah.
And then Mike Epps is the grandpa who also lives with us. Come on,
right there.
Come on,
Grandpa. You're just teaching Timothy Chalamet to use a washcloth, and he can't figure it out.
I catch him out back smoking Black and Milds. I make him smoke the whole pack. He's like, Grandpa gave them to me.
And he gets real sick. That ain't like smoking a pack of cigarettes.
He's smoking wood tip blacks. That's a beautiful.
Yeah. By the end, he looks like E.T. when he was away from home for too long. It's like, bro, we got to get him out of here. This ain't a good house for him.
Yeah, they're gonna call CPS. This is child abuse.
Devin, this was great. I think we did it. Could you tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
I'm on tour right now, so just find me online, find my Instagram or Twitter, whatever. You can find all my tour info. I don't know when this is gonna be out, but I'm touring for like the next month, so come see a show.
Hell yeah! And Pori, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you can catch us on tour because this comes out next week. You can catch us. We still got 2 more weeks of tour. You can come out and catch us. That'll be in Texas, Houston, and Austin. And then the weekend after that, New York and Pittsburgh.
And then Chicago.
Chicago. And then I go on my own tour, bringdavidaplate.com. Just added a few dates, Columbus, Cincinnati, some other stuff. And that's my solo tour, Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram.
Hell yeah. And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman and come to that goddamn My Mama Told Me live tour. We are very excited to see you in person. And more importantly, if you want to send us drops, if you want to send us your own conspiracies, if you want to send us pictures of white men in dresses who have benefited from Hollywood's agenda, then send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. That's about it. Bye, bitch.
Put it in reverse, Terry.